the divine interruption, why everything feels stuck. Heaven has just paused your timeline. You felt it, didn't you? That invisible weight on your heart. The doors that suddenly won't open. The silence where there used to be celebration. This isn't a coincidence. This is your first test. And how you respond in the next few minutes will change everything. Chosen one, heaven has paused your timeline. The scroll of your destiny has been opened, and your name is being spoken in the courts of light. You are not hearing this by chance. You were guided here. The test has already begun, and this message is your first question in it. Will you stop to listen, or will you scroll away and forfeit what was meant for you? You've felt it lately, an invisible weight pressing on your heart, a stirring you cannot name. You've sensed something shifting in the unseen. Doors that once opened easily now resist you. People who once celebrated you have grown silent. It feels as though heaven itself is standing still. But what if I told you this is not abandonment? What if this silence is divine attention, not divine absence? Listen closely. The way you respond in this moment will echo through realms. Every hesitation, every act of faith, every whisper of obedience is being recorded. The throne is watching not to condemn, but to confirm. The test is not about whether you can perform. It's about whether you can remain faithful when you don't understand. You have cried in secret. You have looked up and asked, "Why me?" But heaven replies, "Because you are chosen. You were never meant to blend in. The calling on your life separates you. You carry a light in your spirit that terrifies darkness. That's why the warfare around you has intensified, because hell only attacks what heaven anoints. When your prayers feel unanswered, understand this. Silence is not a sign that God has left you. It's the moment He leans in closer to see if you will still believe. The test is not to prove something to God. It's to reveal something in you. Faith that cannot be tested cannot be trusted. And you, chosen one, are being trusted with something eternal. Right now, the heavens are whispering your name. Angels are watching, recording how you respond to this interruption. Do you recognize that the delay is divine? Do you feel how time slowed just to make space for you to hear this? This is your divine interruption. Heaven is saying, "Stop, listen." The next step requires stillness. As the apostle wrote, "The testing of your faith produces perseverance." These words are not a warning. They are a prophecy. Perseverance is not born in comfort. It is forged in pressure. You are in the refining room, and every tear, every unanswered question, every lonely night is shaping the strength that will carry you to your next realm. So do not despise the test. Do not curse the silence. Instead, lift your eyes and say, "Lord, I understand. You are being stretched because you are chosen for something bigger. The blessing you prayed for is on the other side of this test. Heaven is measuring your patience, your purity, your obedience. Each moment of resistance is refining your readiness. This is the part where you choose. You can run back to comfort, or you can step into calling. You can complain about the pressure, or you can praise through it. The chosen ones don't crumble. They rise. You are rising even now. What felt like chaos is actually choreography. God is not late. He is precise. You are exactly where you need to be. Now listen carefully. This message found you because the blessing is near. You have a choice to decide. Will you pass the test by faith or fail it by fear? Heaven is waiting for your response. If your spirit feels this truth burning inside, don't let it pass. This is your confirmation. You were meant to hear this. If you can feel your heart racing, that's not anxiety. It's awakening. The veil is lifting. The test is revealing the warrior beneath the wounds. You are being prepared for a promotion that no one can see yet, but heaven has already signed your name on it. All you must do now is remain faithful until the door opens. The sacred weight, the purpose of your pressure. The weight you're carrying isn't meant to crush you. It's proof. Proof that what you carry is so valuable, hell is trying to stop it, and heaven trusts you with it. If you feel like you're carrying the world on your shoulders, this is for you. The weight of the test is not meant to crush you, chosen one. It is meant to prove the strength heaven already placed inside you. There are moments when you feel as though the sky itself has pressed down upon your shoulders. When breathing feels like an act of faith. When getting out of bed feels like a declaration of war against despair. But that pressure you feel is not random. It is the hand of God shaping you. You are in divine training. Every chosen soul must pass through the wilderness of heaviness. It is not punishment. It is preparation. You prayed for elevation, but elevation always carries weight. God cannot build on a weak foundation, so He allows you to feel the force of what you will one day carry. You are being strengthened for the promise you have not yet seen. When you look at your life, it may seem as though everything is standing still. Opportunities paused, relationships changed, plans fell through. Yet beneath what appears motionless, heaven is moving more than you know. The silence, the waiting, the stillness, all of it is holy ground where God measures the endurance of your heart. Chosen one, the heaviness you carry is not punishment. It's a sacred assignment. It is heaven's way of testing how deep your roots go. Anyone can praise when the blessing is visible, but only the chosen can worship in the fog. When there's no proof, no sign, no sound, just faith breathing in the dark. You are one of them. You may not realize it, but every sigh, every tear, every moment you whisper, "I still believe," under the weight of your trial. These are offerings. They rise before the throne as incense. The angels record them. Nothing you've endured is wasted. Heaven keeps the receipts of every pain endured in faith. This test is not about speed. It's about stamina. God is not rushing your breakthrough. He is fortifying your spirit. The longer it feels, the deeper your transformation runs. What He is doing inside you cannot be rushed, because the destiny He has written for you is not fragile. It must last for eternity. Sometimes you look around and see others succeeding easily. They move quickly. Doors open for them without resistance. And you wonder why your path seems so heavy. But what you carry is different. Their speed cannot compare to your depth. You are being trained for something that requires more substance, more strength, and more maturity. The weight is evidence that your anointing is uncommon. It's like a tree planted in secret. Before it can bear fruit, its roots must grow deeper than its branches will reach. That's what God is doing with you. He is anchoring you in faith before He reveals you in favor. Because once the blessing comes, you will not have time to grow. You must already be ready. Heaven measures your endurance, not your excitement. The early joy of calling is easy, but the long walk of obedience is where the true chosen ones are revealed. When you choose to stand, even while weary, you become a witness to unseen realms. Every time you refuse to quit, you remind hell that faith cannot be defeated. And though the weight feels unbearable at times, something beautiful is forming within you. A quiet strength that glows even in the dark. That strength is your testimony. That is why your name is being whispered in heaven's council. You have not failed the test by feeling weak. You pass it by refusing to surrender. According to what is revealed, our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory to be revealed in us. These words are the divine reminder that pain is temporary but glory is eternal. The heaviness you feel today is the shadow of the greatness about to unfold tomorrow. Chosen one, understand this. Your heaviness has meaning. The ache in your soul is the echo of transformation. You are not falling apart. You are being remade. God is teaching you how to stand in storms without trembling, how to walk through fire without fear. You are learning divine endurance. There will come a day soon when you will look back on this season and understand why the wait was necessary. You will see how each delay protected you, how each silence refined you, and how each loss positioned you. You will no longer call it pain. You will call it preparation. So breathe. The test is heavy, yes, but it is holy. The weight you carry today is shaping the wings you will use tomorrow. Heaven is not against you. Heaven is working through you. Every ounce of pressure is a prophecy. You are almost ready. The hidden observer, what heaven sees in your silence. You feel unseen, don't you? You've prayed, you've served, you've been faithful in secret, and it seems like no one notices. But there is a hidden observer, and what they're recording right now is about to trigger your promotion. The hidden observer watches, chosen one. Not the crowd, not your critics, not even those who cheer you loudly in public but vanish when the battle grows long. No, the one who watches is unseen, silent, yet closer than breath. Heaven studies not what you perform before others, but what you practice when no one is watching. Every private choice carries eternal weight. Every unseen act of obedience becomes a seed that heaven waters in secret. It is easy to appear righteous when the lights are on, but the true measure of the chosen is revealed in the dark. Integrity is born where applause cannot reach. The Father sees what others overlook. The moments you chose kindness instead of vengeance, humility instead of recognition, patience instead of pride. You thought no one noticed, but angels did. They wrote it down. There is a mystery in how heaven measures greatness. The world celebrates the visible, the stage, the voice, the power. But heaven celebrates the invisible, the character, the restraint, the faithfulness. The kingdom of God is upside down compared to the kingdoms of men. What seems small here resounds loudly there. You have felt unseen, haven't you? You've given when no one thanked you, prayed when no one listened, served when no one cared. You've poured out your heart and received silence in return. You have felt overlooked, misunderstood, even forgotten. But the truth is, heaven has never stopped watching. You are being recorded not for punishment, but for promotion. When God promotes, He first observes. Before He entrusts you with visibility, He examines your hiddenness. He watches how you handle loneliness, how you react when misunderstood, how you treat those who cannot repay you. If you can be faithful in the unseen, you can be trusted with the seen. The greatest battles you fight are not against people, but against the temptation to give up when unseen. The enemy whispers, no one notices your effort, hoping to drain your devotion. But heaven whispers back, I see it all. You have been sowing faithfulness for a long time, and even if the world hasn't clapped yet, the reward is already forming. As Jesus Himself declared, your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. These words were not given as comfort. They were given as covenant. They mean that every tear, every prayer, every silent act of faith carries a promise. You are building something eternal. Every time you choose obedience in secret, you are storing up authority for what is to come. Sometimes God hides you on purpose. You may call it obscurity, but heaven calls it incubation. When you feel unseen, it's not because you've been ignored. It's because you're being developed. The roots of greatness grow underground before the fruit can appear. The roots must deepen. God buries His treasures to protect them from premature exposure. You are one of those treasures. The hidden season refines your motives. When no one sees, you learn to do things purely for love, not for applause. You pray not for attention, but for alignment. You serve not to be noticed, but to be near. The absence of an audience reveals who you truly are. And God always honors the genuine. There's a sacred beauty in anonymity. It strips away the noise and brings you face to face with your true purpose. In the silence, you remember that you were never called to impress, only to obey. That realization frees you from comparison. You stop measuring yourself against others because you understand that your value has never depended on visibility. When the time is right, heaven will reveal what has been concealed. God does not forget faithful hearts. The same eyes that watched you in obscurity will shine upon you in favor. And when that day comes, the reward will not be a stage or applause, but divine recognition. The Father saying, "Well done, good and faithful servant." Do not rush this process. The hidden observer is patient because he is thorough. He is crafting something within you that fame cannot sustain. Every delay, every quiet moment of obedience is strengthening your spirit to handle the weight of your next assignment. Chosen one, you are not invisible. You are intentionally concealed. Heaven does not waste purity. The longer you stay unseen, the deeper the roots of your authenticity grow. When the world finally sees you, it will not just see a person. It will see the reflection of God through a life refined by silence, devotion, and unwavering faith. So remain steadfast in secret. Keep doing the right thing even when no one claps. Keep giving even when no one notices. Keep praying even when heaven feels still. The hidden observer has already marked your name for remembrance. And soon, what was done in silence will echo loudly across eternity as proof that you were faithful when it mattered most. The breaking point where your strength is perfected. You've reached your breaking point, the moment where you whisper, "I can't do this anymore." But what if I told you that this exact point is where heaven leans in closest? This isn't the end. This is where you are remade. The breaking point, every chosen one meets it. That moment where your strength collapses beneath the weight of what you've carried too long. You pray and words don't come. You stand in faith but feel nothing. Your hands shake. Your hope thins and your heart whispers, "I can't do this anymore." But listen closely because heaven leans in closest at the breaking point. This is not where you end. This is where you are remade. Breaking is not failure. It's transformation in disguise. A seed must break before it sprouts. A cocoon must tear before the butterfly emerges. The alabaster jar had to shatter before its fragrance filled the room. You, too, must break open for the glory within you to be released. The pressure is not meant to kill you. It's meant to reveal the treasure hidden inside. God is not distant in your breaking. He is present in it. The same hands that allow the weight are the ones that catch every piece as you fall apart. He does not mock your pain. He molds it. He gathers your fragments like a master sculptor, shaping something you could not imagine when you were whole. What you call broken, heaven calls becoming. You may feel like your prayers hit walls, like your effort returns void, but even your exhaustion speaks. The tears that fall without words are translated by the Spirit. The sighs you release are carried as songs before the throne. God does not need eloquence. He needs honesty. And right now, your raw honesty is your greatest offering. When you reach your limit, remember that grace begins there. The end of your strength is the doorway to His. Every time you whisper help, heaven responds with fresh mercy. You are not weak for needing grace. You are wise for seeking it. Strength was never meant to be constant. It was meant to be replenished. The Word of God declares that the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. These words are not poetry. They are promise. They remind you that the distance you feel is an illusion, because the closer your heart is to breaking, the nearer His presence draws. Chosen one, it is okay to fall apart. You are not a failure for feeling tired. You are not faithless for feeling afraid. Even Jesus wept. Even He groaned beneath the weight of His assignment. The breaking is proof that you're carrying something divine. because only the chosen are stretched this far. You are in the hands of the refiner, and he will not let the fire consume you. He will not allow the crushing to be wasted. Every ounce of pain has purpose. The nights that felt endless, the prayers that seemed unanswered, the storms that refused to calm. These are not signs of abandonment, but indicators of intimacy. God trusts you enough to break you because he intends to build you stronger. There's a sacred stillness that follows the breaking. It's the silence after the storm, when your tears dry, but your heart still trembles. That's when heaven begins its quiet work. You may not feel it, but something inside you is aligning. The cracks in your spirit are being filled with divine light. What once felt like ruin will soon become radiance. The breaking point teaches you what sermons cannot. It teaches you dependency, not on people, not on outcomes, but on God himself. It strips away the illusion that you can do this alone. And in that raw vulnerability, intimacy deepens. The God who once felt distant now becomes tangible because you finally let him hold what you were trying to fix. So if you're standing at your breaking point now, if your faith feels thin, your strength fading, your hope trembling, know this: you are not falling apart. You are falling into grace. What feels like the end is actually the unveiling of divine renewal. Heaven is not waiting for you to be strong. Heaven is waiting for you to surrender. And when you feel that surrender rising inside, let it be known. Let it be your declaration. Those words are not pride. They are prophecy. They mean, I may be broken, but I'm not gone. I may be weary, but I refuse to bow to despair. When you declare them, you're not just expressing faith, you're activating it. You're reminding yourself and the unseen realms watching you that endurance still beats in your chest. So stand, chosen one. Even if your standing looks like trembling, you are not defined by what broke you, but by the light that refused to leave you. The same God who allowed this breaking is already preparing the beauty that will rise from it. One day, you'll look back at this very moment and realize it wasn't the end of your story. It was the chapter where grace began to write in fire. The crown of endurance, your season of revelation and reward. The test is over. The season of struggle has officially come to a close. If you've made it this far, this message is your sign. The revelation is here. The blessing is released. And it's time to step into your crowned season. The season of testing draws to a close. The dust has settled. The fire has cooled, and you stand on the other side, not the same as before, but transformed. The storms that once raged have grown quiet, and in their silence, something holy fills the air. You sense it even now, the blessing long prepared, finally released. It does not arrive with fanfare or noise, but with peace. True blessings rarely make a sound. They move like dawn breaking gently across a weary sky. You begin to notice it in small ways. First, the clarity in your thoughts, the ease in your spirit, the way things that once drained you now pass by without power. It is not that life has become easier. It is that your heart has become steadier. The test has done its work. The blessing does not come to replace the pain. It comes to redeem it. Every loss, every delay, every moment of despair now finds meaning in what's unfolding. The same ground watered by your tears becomes fertile with promise. The very path that once exhausted you now feels lighter beneath your feet. Heaven has turned the battlefield into holy ground. This blessing is not merely material. It is transformation made visible. It's the maturity that allows you to walk in peace where you once walked in panic. It's the inner calm that stays steady even when outer things shift. You are no longer chasing favor. You are carrying it. The anointing upon you is not loud or dramatic. It is quiet and weighty, felt by every soul that crosses your path. The Apostle Peter revealed this mystery. After you have suffered a little while, the God of all grace will restore, confirm, strengthen, and establish you. For promises in one verse: restoration for what was lost, confirmation for what was doubted, strength for what was weakened, and establishment for what was unstable. That is the essence of divine blessing. Not just receiving something new, but being rebuilt into something unshakable. Chosen one, you have reached that sacred place. The refining fire has produced endurance, and endurance has given birth to authority. You carry now what cannot be taken: peace that surpasses understanding, faith that doesn't depend on feelings, love that persists even through pain. These are the true treasures heaven releases after testing. You will begin to notice that life responds differently now. Opportunities align effortlessly. The right words find you. The wrong ones fade quietly. Where you once had to fight for every inch, now doors open before you because heaven recognizes your readiness. The testing season was about building capacity, and now you are a vessel large enough to hold the outpouring. Still, remember this truth: blessings are not an end. They are a beginning. The reward is not a finish line, but an invitation to steward what you've been given with grace. You have not graduated from dependence. You've grown into partnership. The same God who tested you will now trust you to carry his light into darker places, to guide others who are still trembling under their own storms. Do not forget where you came from. The crown of endurance you wear is meant to remind you of humility. Every time you see the evidence of your blessing, remember the nights that built it. Gratitude will keep the oil flowing. Pride would close the heavens, but gratitude keeps them open. And perhaps the greatest blessing of all is the clarity you now walk in. You no longer confuse comfort with calling. You no longer mistake silence for absence. You understand now that every season, joy or sorrow, noise or stillness, carries revelation if you're willing to listen. That is the wisdom only testing can give. So, chosen one, stand tall in this moment, not as a survivor, but as a witness. You have seen the faithfulness of God firsthand. The test that once terrified you has become the foundation beneath your feet. You are proof that endurance is never wasted, that obedience always leads to overflow. This blessing is not the end of your story. It is the start of a new one. The wilderness has served its purpose. The waiting has been fulfilled. Heaven's gates have opened, and the wind of divine favor begins to move again around your life. Step forward gently with peace in your stride and wisdom in your gaze. You are walking not into uncertainty, but into completion. The test is over. The promise stands. The blessing is here, and it bears your name.